Okay. Woo, hello. Hello, folks. How's it going? Conan, hello. ODM. What's buying? But Shones, hello. The Adept, hello. Kiwi, what's up? Sup? TB, hello. Mick, how's it going? Good to see you. How goes it? Alrighty. Alright. So tonight we are going to be building the OGR2 from Alchemist keyboards. So let's get on to it. So let's talk about the OGR2. So the OGR2 is the second round of the, well, OGR, I guess 1. And as you can see from wonderful color printed A4 paper right here, it is, or sorry, actually I think it's letter size. It's multifunctional keyboard with 68 to 78 fully programmable keys, 10-degree typing angle, compatible with MX and electrocapacitive switches, manufactured using aerospace grade materials. That's like literally every aluminum. It connects to USB host systems, 2 USB connection options, and then has a switch plate that incorporates leaf spring technology for a distinct type feel. And we have 4 available layouts within a single chassis, so up to mount at your leisure. Pretty neat. I really like this marketing. Don't let its sleek, space-saving design fool you. The OGR2 is not only a feature-rich powerhouse that could rival even the biggest brands, it is also a true keyboard companion that's easy to love and even easier to use. Electrophoresis coating starts at $450 US, and you can find more about the OGR2 at alchemistkeyboards.com or on Keycaps or on Canakeys. And then we have details about the the purchasing aspect of the OGR2. How to buy keyboards when all GBs or group buys look the same. I'll read it out loud, because why not? We know it's hard to choose a keyboard these days. All the ads say the same thing. Lowest prices, fastest delivery, best support, biggest choice. Trouble is, although the claims are the same, the companies are very different, which is why we want you to know some important facts about us. AKB, or Alchemist Keyboards, is one of the oldest and the most reputable designers in the industry, having designed over 100 keyboards for vendors and individuals alike. 2. AKB is a brand that designs keyboards for a living. It isn't a generic tech company. This means every decision, from a fillet radius to acoustics, is rooted in professional expertise and real-world insight. 3. Unlike mass-produced products, AKB designs are created with intention. That means thoughtful decisions from the layout choice all the way to sandblast grading. The designs are tailored for a specific goal, not just profit margins. And 4. AKB keyboards have a clean and confident design language that reflects the brand's focus on intentionality, individuality, and timeless appeal. Each board is instantly recognizable, distinct without trying too hard, and always true to AKB's refined, purpose-driven style. Alright, so check out all our incredible prices. These are all MSRPs quoted in US dollars. Pricing may vary by region, and you can contact your regional vendor if you have any questions regarding pricing. So for anodized pricing, it starts at $440. There is a 65 XT layout with WinKey or WinKeyless, and an FRL TKL layout with WinKey or WinKeyless. electrophoresis coating finish. It starts at $450. And then add-ons, we have EC conversion kits for the 65XC or the FRLTKL layout. There's a steel plate, PCB, and hardware for $90 US. And then miscellaneous extra items like the Electrofly daughterboard, feet, aluminum badge. Plates are $40. You can get carbon fiber, aluminum, and polycarbonate. PCBs for $45 or $50 depending on solderable or hot swap respectively, and then layout inserts for $45 or $50 respectively from WinKey to WinKeyless. And you can order it from all these different vendors. THX, keys and cables. Actually not sure what that one is. Canon keys. I think that's R&D, KBD, KeyGem, and Ktex. So there it is. All right. So that's the OGR2's info, and we have the board inside our case over here. Oh. So let's get our stuff. So I believe the OGR2 was built by a few other people. It's probably the same unit that they built. It was built by, let's see, actually. Merlin built it, Apiary built it, the Manic Geek built it, and Alex Otos also built it. They each built it in different layouts. I think Merlin and Alex and Manic Geek all built it in the 65XT layout, which is this one right now. And then Apiary built it in the FRL-TKL layout. So right now we have the 65XT stuff over here. Obviously we can shift it around. I was thinking of doing the FRL-TKL because only one person did it that way, and I think it's kind of fun. But we can choose. And then let's see, we have parts over here. Someone really likes labeling all their stuff. Like no idea Keck W for some screws. Plate fasteners, mid plate fasteners. Looks like we have some extra daughterboard cable and whatnot stuff over here. 65XT solderer, PCB, and PC plate, because I think the carbon fiber one's right here. So, and then on the left over here, I have the FRL-TKL stuff, which I will get out of the bag shortly. So I got some switches also. So for switches, I haven't chosen what to use yet, but we have some lavenders, we have some MX Browns, we have some Nixies, and I think these are Ceruleans. These are tactiles, like MX Clear level of tactile. And then we got some Staps, and then we have our FRL WinKeyless TKL mid plate, which is, it's called a mid plate because it replaces this guy right here, this gray piece. So this is a black unit with gray accents, kind of like a nice two-tone case here, warm gray sort of. And so it replaces that piece. And let's see, that's the PCB here. FRL WinKeyless TKL solder PCB. The morally correct layout. Nice. Okay. Okay, so I guess I'll open this up. Nicely packaged. So we got our FRL-TKL plate. That's the carbon fiber plate. And then I'll get the top piece here. That's our top piece. This one is wind keyless, so that's kind of where it would go. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Kupo. How's it going? McDouble with cheese, no onion. Hello. How's it going? Look at this interesting solder mask that says, "Hey, just thought about something. Since the plate is screwed into the accent piece and not into the top case, wouldn't it be possible to technically just make an accent plate PCB in a different layout, like say FRL, and just screw that into the case?" Dino. Very cool. Maybe I suppose that's the origin of this idea of having this piece be replaceable with a different layout. Pretty cool. Gave credit to it. Comes in a nice green prototype PCB type of color, kind of more cherry-like rather, with a cool little cherry font-esque silk screen or solder mask here, actually, rather, that says AKB. Pretty neat. Okay. All right. So, there are some lube stabs over here that I could reuse if we wanted. Or we can just lube some new ones. Maybe I can just do some new ones, why not? Okay. So we got our plate, we got our mid plate, and our PCB. I suppose what's left now is to choose the type of switches that we want to use for today's build. So how about we actually do that, make that choice. So we have a carbon fiber plate for the FRL TKL build today. And choices that I have are 2 tactiles and 2 linears, basically. We have Nixies, we have Lavenders, we have MX Browns, and we have Ceruleans. So we can choose from those. So this will be switch on CF plate. So it's all right, we can go ahead and take a pick, maybe vote. It is a solderable case too, so or a PCB rather, so I can't really replace the switches. So I'll just do one. Can you vote for me? I want Lavenders. Sure, I can vote for you. Do you want me to vote for you? There, I voted for you. Hell yeah, I get 2 votes. There is only 1 vote on the screen. Oh, Smoj. How's work? Work's been okay. It's been quiet and busy at the same time. Like I feel like I have a lot of like personal, like individual responsibilities in like the team I work with, and so like whenever I have like specific assignments, it's like really busy just for me. You know, like nobody else, just me. Because I'm like solely responsible to like, you know, draft up a report or a document or whatever, you know. And so those times it gets really busy and I'm just kind of like in the middle of it. So right now it's kind of busy like that. But there's times when like I don't have that kind of stuff going on and it's like pretty quiet. So it's like it just has like peaks and troughs like that. Oh, tactile tie. Oh, damn. Okay. Tactile tie. Ceruleans and MX Browns. These are Ceruleans. So Ceruleans are like Durock, I think, JWK Durock style switches that are like middle in tactility. And MX Browns are MX Browns, you know MX Browns. Alright, so no linears today. Goodbye, linears. We can do a tiebreaker vote, I guess. I want to make sure you all vote. You all better vote. No? You don't want to vote? Exec decision? Oh, really? I mean, you know my bias. I have a bias towards cherry switches. What can I do? Dictatorship? I really like the MX Brown to carbon fiber combo. So I can't help but choose that if I have to choose. Sorry, gamers, but I gotta vote for Browns on CRF. Nice. Wow. Are people purposefully voting evenly so it like never comes to actual tiebreaker? Are people just doing this on purpose? SMH. I see you. Alright, in the meantime, I'll start prepping stabs. I'll split the right shift and then do everything else full. So full backspace and ANSI 7U. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn, Cerulean's won? Oh, really? Oh, it's 4-3 too. Basically, there's not many people voting. I mean, there's more people in the chat talking than there are people voting. That's just the reality. Like, plus minus 1 vote with 7 votes is like, it's like well within the error bar of this. Okay, well, if people want Ceruleans, I can do Ceruleans. Hell nah, I got here too late to vote for Browns. Alright. Well, to be fair, okay, people who voted for Cerulean say something. you better say something in the chat. If you don't say something and you just lurk and voted, I will I can't undermine the vocal, I guess, majority in the chat who is saying MX Browns. Can't ignore them because they are clearly calling for it, but no one is like, oh, I really love Ceruleans, or I would like to see it. But me, okay, William. Oh, there's one. Nice. I just got pulled over by a cop asking why I'm looking at my phone while driving. I said I'm catching up Diego's stream and finding the right way to talk. He then let me go without a ticket. You saved my life. Oh, yay. Something. Oh, hi. Quackum. Hello. Alright, fine. I can do Ceruleans then. The cop was also watching Diego. Oh god. Based. Alright. I suppose Ceruleans it is then. You know, I actually do think they're pretty nice. And yeah, something different is good. I actually don't know. I mean, OGR1 does exist, so someone's gotta have built an MX Brown build before, right? Actually, why not check if that actually exists? How many keyboards do you think you have built in your lifetime? I don't know. I mean, at least like 1,000. Probably. OGR MX Brown. Let's see if it pops up. Wait, AKB OGR. There's a build from back when got Oil Kings. Oh yeah, look. HG Browns on CF plate last year. I think it's that one. Oh, why is it? Why did it freeze for me? Well, that sounds nice. Pretty nice. It's like the same colorway too. With olive. Very nice. Very nice. What is the first keyboard I built? My first keyboard I built for somebody else was a Duck Eagle V2. First keyboard I built for myself. Which one was it? I mean, I did Toper modding before I did MX. So I modded a Nova Touch before I did MX. But for MX, I think my first one, it was probably... I modded a few OEM things. I modded a Cooler Master and a Vermilla board. I did a white box build once. And I also modded a Tata 68. And then I also did... And then I think my first customs outside of that were a Duck Octagon V1 and a KBD 75, the first one, the V1. It was like when it was just coming. KBD fans just got made. Can you say keyboard? What? I keep reading. It says, can you say keyboard? Can I ask why you are doing that to the stabilizer? Oh yeah, sure. So TXAP stabs have slightly like, so if you like, okay, let me leave this alone, right? So compare this. So like, look at this side of the stab, this one right here. So the stock shape of the TXAP stabs are kind of like, the tolerances are pretty tight, and so the wire doesn't like freely rotate at this point where it gets where it basically gets clipped onto the plastic piece, the housing. And so like, so you see, like if I leave it like this, it actually doesn't drop. Like it kind of like gets stuck there. It's not so much that it like actually just like holds it in place there completely, but it's enough that it actually doesn't fall freely. And so I'm basically unclipping and reclipping the wire to loosen up that part on the plastic a little bit. So when I do this, it just kind of rotates nicely and freely, and so it kind of evens out the overall like action of the stab overall, you know, like across the whole thing, the whole set. So it's just for the sake of it not being too tight. Especially once you lube, you're kind of applying like material, like stuff onto it, and so there will be some static friction, some drag, but in addition to that, just to like basically make it more uniform in the sense that like out of the box, it has some places have like, you know, they'll have more drag than others, and so yeah, so it kind of helps it to not accidentally bind. In the case that you like looped it too much or something, or things like that. That said, TX stabs do not need a lot of lube to be tuned right, so just a light coat of 205 is usually more than enough. Keyboard, that's what it says. Hestura, yeah. I'm still learning about keyboards. I just modded my GMK Pro and my Misc M1 V3. I'd like to know what you're doing to stabs right now because I've never seen it done. Yeah, so it's very specific to this specific product, like this specific stab product, which is like stabilizer product, which is the TXAP stabs. They just come out a little bit with tighter tolerance out of the factory, and that's all that it is. Other stabs don't really need it. They don't seem to have that extra tightness to the clip, so usually don't need it. But yeah, for TXAP, it's I found it better to do so for consistency's sake. I'll be stealing and crediting you, of course. Oh, well, I mean, you can credit me, but you can credit you actually should credit. So the person who told me about it was actually you know Juan Inamili, or Dodgy Keyboards, Dodgy KB. He designs and sells boards under Dodgy Keyboards. When TXAP first came out, he said that he did that and he had a better experience, and so I was like, oh great, I'll try it out. And then I tried it, and then it worked pretty well, so I kind of stuck with it. So I would give him the credit, really. He deserves the credit for that. Because as far as I recall, he was the first one that I heard from doing it back then. When they first came out, this was like, I don't know how long it's been since AP came out. A couple of years, maybe less. A couple of years. Sounds right, maybe. I just use Cherry C3 wires with BDZ at this point, so cheap and reliable. I don't really like BDZ myself, but for the people that it works for, that's good. I don't really love how like BDZ like sort of like paints the wire, and it's also like very thick. it's a little bit too much for my personal preference. I've had a bit more consistency with 205, even though it sometimes will need reapplication and or retouching, like because of the movement of the lubricant over time. That much is true, but I prefer it. And more so of a personal choice. Some of my friends use 205, but I can't. I hate how it leaks to the PCB. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean I mean, like all greases, there's like a binding agent and oil, and so yeah, it leaking over down to the PCB from like over time is inevitable, like separation, and then like it just basically just going down to the PCB is inevitable. Yeah, nothing you can do about it. BDZ looks like Mod Podge to me. Yeah, I mean, I've used it before with success, but yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it. That said, it also was another reason I stuck to 205 was that I had purchased more 205 than I had BDZ, and so I was like, well, if I make the switch, then I have to use like purchase both, right? Like separately, and so BDZ is quite expensive. Even though you use a small amount, it is still quite expensive. And I was like, well, then like I use 205 for like I don't know lubing switches or like specific things, other things. But then I also have to purchase BDZ to like lube stabs and like regularly have the supply. And I was like, well, having two products like separately seems cumbersome compared to just having one for both. But I mean, it's whatever works for you is what you should use ultimately, though, in my opinion. Like, yeah, like convenience slash sticking to what's familiar, in my opinion, is much more important and much easier for peace of mind. Continuously changing stuff is pretty tiring. Most stabs are okay without BDZ dielectric, except for Cherry, of course. Yeah, I think most stabs are pretty good these days. Like most of the enthusiast stabs are pretty good. Like even like the ones included in kits, like the Neo stabs or the like other stabs that people offer. Yeah, they're all pretty decent. Like they're all tunable. Okay, we're almost done with steps here. I'm off to bed. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Okay. Good night. Have a good rest of your evening. Alright, I suppose because I did see that there are MX Brown sound tests on YouTube, I'll try the Ceruleans for something different. After all, it did win a vote, so I'll be fair and square about that. So let's try these Ceruleans. I think these are lubed. I can check. Yep, these are lubed. These are hand lubed too, actually. El Quan, hello. How's it going? It's going. Yeah. I feel that. What's the switch that we end up choosing? Oh, they are Durock Ceruleans. I will update that. These are medium tactiles, so they're kind of similar to like MX Clear sort of tactility. Yeah. So not super tactile switches. They're like, you know, the bump is sort of like right in the middle of the travel distance. Are they new? No. They came out around the same time as the Durock Lavenders, if you remember them. They are essentially from like the same generation of switches. So quite some time now, like years now. They're a full travel medium tactile switch, but they did not become as popular as lavenders because tactile switches definitely had a bigger popularity when they were like the more heavily tactile switches. So medium and light tactiles that were you know, like made by specifically like I'll say like non-cherry and non-Gateron switches were not nearly as popular as their heavily tactile variants. Seems the same material as cherry switches. Yeah, although cherry switches are kind of peculiar in the sense that yes, they are palm stem and nylon housing, but they definitely use a specific blend. So they sound pretty, like cherry switches are definitely kind of unique in the way they sound. All right, let me check our. I happened to have a chance to try out some OG Nixies the other day, and that's actually much better than new Nixies. I'm telling you, it varies for sure. I've tried bad and good ones for Nixies. The thing about MX Blacks or Nixies as well is that, you know, it also matters whether they're like mint blacks, you know, where they're like heavily used before you get to try them. So they're like very broken in and whatnot. So that kind of matters. There's also like the aspect of like just like overall condition that they've been sitting in for a long time because they're pretty old now. So yeah, there's too many little factors at play. But I've seen and tried both good and really bad ones. Well, actually, like my first batch of Nixies that I got, they were really bad because the switch bottom housing had corroded leaves and felt pretty scratchy, probably because just accumulation of grime. So I actually had to replace the bottom housings on those. I kept the top housing because those were fine, but the bottom housing was like really scratchy. So I just replaced those with like other MX Block bottom housings. Have you tried Hirose before? Yeah, I've tried Hirose. I've tried orange Hiroses and Hirose clears as well. Did they feel any different from normal cherry? Yeah, they're a bit different. They also sound kind of thin. Like I'm not sure if it's the plastic material specifically, like to do with like the stem and stuff. So two things about Hiroses, right? Like Hiroses also have a different stem. They're different from regular cherries in the sense that they also have these like little protrusions at the, like the crucifix is like this, and there are little protrusions in between the cruciform. And those can damage your keycaps if you're not using Hirose originated keycaps because they have a different stem shape. So you have to like shave them. But outside of the shaving part, the plastic itself, I feel like on the Hirose switches is a bit different. So they tend to sound a little thinner, like just like less full of a sound. So they tend to be kind of muted. I've seen people who have lubed them before and also kept them like relatively stock, and they just in general sound quieter and kind of like less full bodied, so to speak. And so they are like feeling wise though they're pretty smooth, or at least in a lot of the cases that I've tried them, they're pretty smooth, like, you know, in stock form as well as like when you lube them. I mean, I would still personally suggest just like pretty much every Cherry MX switch out there. I would recommend a spring swap, and if you do open them up, I would definitely recommend also like doing switch films and stuff, just because, or stickers or whatever you want, because the housing definitely loosens up after you open it. So yeah, that's just a Cherry MX thing though. Like you open the switch and the housing gets kind of loose on for the fitment. Okay. But yeah, Hiroses, they're okay. I mean, they're kind of like a little nice. They're a bit more of a flex, of a brag, kind of like bragging rights, sort of to them. But I personally at least wouldn't really like look for them myself. I didn't really love how they felt and sounded, so I personally was like, okay, whatever. That said, you know, some people just like having bragging rights. So, you know, it's kind of up to you. It looks like a different, so it's like slightly translucent. So Hirose MX, like the orange stem on the Hiroses are slightly translucent. They look really cool. But they look cool, but at least for as a Switch personally, I wasn't like wow enthralled by it. Hirose are Japanese, German manufactured. I don't even know what exactly is about the manufacturing, but yeah, I mean technically came out from like these Japanese keyboards. It's so peak. Yep. Just like yeah, sure. If you harvest some diodes from an old keyboard, you'll get extra APM, extra words per minute, or whatever. Because the cloud will support your way and bring you to great success. Weep switches. All right. Also, don't do that. Yeah, don't believe what I'm saying. That's not true. Don't just go harvesting old boards. The color on these Ceruleans are pretty nice though. I actually really dig them. Nice light blue. Wow, is this my first solderable build in a hot minute? I think it is. I mean, I did do some solderable work off stream for someone local. Were they local? Technically not local, I guess. For someone who needed like a board repair, but I think as far as the builds I've done on stream in the past bits now, haven't really done any solderable builds for a while. Usually people send hot swap. It's become more common, obviously, especially with multi-layout support being available on the hot swap, but yeah. And at least for stuff to showcase and stuff, it is easier to have hot swap, especially like if I have to send the board back out to like a different concreter, or like a different builder, or back to designer and such. Hello, do you have any recommendations for stabilizers? Yeah. I would say these days pretty popular are AKB stabs, the Type Plus stabs. Night stabs are pretty popular. I can't not recommend cherry stabs because they're pretty nice. People really like cherry stabs. Sometimes people pair them with third-party wires like the C3 wires or the Geon wires as well, I believe. Personally, I don't mind TX stabs. Some people say they don't like TX stabs as much because just have a hard time tuning them, and or they just don't like how they sound. Some people like stabies as well. They're pretty good. A little bit more finicky to tune correctly, stabies, because of the tighter tolerances. And especially like if depends on what keycaps you're working with, they might have more binding or concerns with that if they're like over lubed and then you use a certain keycap that kind of is too snug on the stem. Yes, cherry with Geon wire you can get off Divinity Key. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, people seem to like them. But yeah, any of the ones I mentioned are pretty good. The night stabs, AKB stabs, cherry with third-party wires, or even like regular wires are fine as long as they're consistent or straight. I dropped off this evening. Oh, thanks, TB. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, it's been a minute since I did a build. Nice. I hope the build goes well. Alright. Durock is still trying to sell his. Gave him set chasing, and I'm probably gonna end up picking his group king, complete the set. Oh, you had two? Nice. I don't have Sobble. I don't have the blue one. I got a Grookey. I don't have the blue one yet. Alright. Let's heat up the soldering iron. I'm gonna move this for a sec. But then I couldn't find a trade of score bunny for a Grookey. Fair. I tried a 40 and my brain and fingers couldn't handle its skill issue. Same. Big same. I also have skill issue with 40s. Oh, whoops. I unplugged the soldering iron by accident. Wait for that. All right. Soldering iron hot yet? Okay, I think it's good to go. Okay, some fan noise here. What's that, Mr. Kupo? Are you in any GBs? No keyboards. I have some of those bowl DCS blanks coming in. Whenever that happens. Figure blanks would be good to have around. And they're not expensive. What's that called? Prussian blue. Prussian blue. I hate this emote. I actually kind of hate it too. I'm on the fence on Gurokawa. Yeah. I've been trying not to purchase pretty much anything. If possible. It'll be here in like 3 months? Yeah, true. Yeah, that is very true though. Yeah, the GMK queue has been flying. I saw that what's that the thing that's shipping right now? GMK Led Zepp. Led Zepp is like it's like arriving to people right now. I was like, wow. So fast. So fast. Were there extras of the DCS blanks? There probably are, but not many. I believe they probably accounted for some, but not many. That said, it sold quite a few, and I would not be surprised at all to see them on the market, like, relatively often, because it sold like 400 units or something ridiculous like that, because it was expected to be like 100 units, but it turned out that people just turned up for it. So I would not think it would be a hard time getting them. Considering they're blanks, first of all, and it's also DCS, which is kind of niche. GMK DN is already here? Where's my sample? I don't think there are 400 sets, more like close to 200. So you think the rest are like extras or something? The desk mat for Gurokawa with the waves design is really cute. Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, that one's cute. I like the atypical shape stuff that's come out. Like desk mats and otherwise. Very cool. Kind of eccentric. I mean, actually not necessarily for me. I personally don't really like, whoa, I'm like, whoa, I really want that, but it's cool to see though. It's like neat to see that people are making stuff that's like more atypically shaped or like kind of out of the norm. It's good to see people stepping out of their like comfort zone, I guess, sort of. Is Bowl site the only vendor? I thought it was, right? It was supposed to be like a small and quick kind of buy, I think. Community source. So yeah, I don't think there were like proxies arranged and stuff. I just don't have a board that would match the color. Yeah, that's fair. Well, silver would probably work fine. Or like polycarb. Just like regular frosted polycarb. In my opinion. $350 without extras and $440 in total for bowl blanks. That's quite a lot. That is quite a lot. Can you learn this at home or do you need to take a course? Oh, you can do it at home. I mean, that's how I started. You can definitely learn how to solder at home. Like start with like simple through-hole stuff. I mean, keyboards I think are very easy to build. There's like more complicated stuff out there. And but through-hole soldering for keyboards is like the simplest type of soldering you can do. And the rest for building keyboards is fairly straightforward. Just putting screws together and like putting, you know, like just like a regular assembly with simple, straightforward tools. It really isn't too hard. It's very easy. Just don't lick your hands. Fair. Hola, Diego. Hello, Ninewalker. How are you, my friend? Alright, let us open up this board and put this in the case. Alright, so I don't think I showed the back of this board, but this is what it looks like. AKB feet. Here there would be a nice sticker with like that cherry style, vintage style branding. How'd you know I was gonna lick the soldering iron? Oh, damn. Not using cherry feet? Oh, SMH. James didn't get in on the buy, Vin Keys. Jeez. Should have told him to purchase more cherry feet. SMH. I think that was a one-time thing. Hopefully not. Yeah, I know. Hopefully not. Okay, so there comes up the top piece. So the top piece is really just the cover, okay? Kind of covers the top like that. And then so there will be an option for a fly DB here, which I don't have. We're just gonna plug in our pseudo cable here, so it kind of allows you to do like sort of a pseudo like fixed cable sort of look, kind of similar to the way the Pontus 21XX did it, right? So the OGR here has a mid plate here, which is essentially the layout defining element here, as well as a plate on the PCB, of course. So I unscrew these 4 fasteners here, or 5 rather. And this gets undone. So this piece here, wait, I think I got that right? Yeah, there. So here is our plate. It's a top mount plate. And then here is our PCB internally, right? So I can undo these plate fasteners as well. Oops. Oh my gosh, slid. What's the best switch deep thocky poppy sounds for Leobog? Honestly, just use some Gaterons and stuff your board with some foam and you'll get deep thocky poppy whoppy thwacky thwompy flacky clacky. Not sure, but you can try Alps SKADN. Yes, exactly. Wear noise canceling headphones and never worry about it. That also works. Yes, true. That is also a choice that you can take. What the? Okay. Glorious Holy Pandas easy. Heavy tactile switch? Yeah, maybe. Maybe that works. Alright, so I took off. So this is the 65 XT layout part. I'm gonna replace that now with the one for the FRL, TKL, which is right here. So someone applied some of these like stabilizer thingies for like force brake. Maybe it was Alex, maybe it was somebody else. But it's top mount, so I'm just gonna put the plate on this mid plate piece and screw these on. Case design kind of reminds me of the boring box. Sold out. Who designed this keyboard? James, yes. James from AKB. In fact, if you don't know the history of the OGR, if I recall, the OGR was first designed as part of that vintage summer event on custom keyboards, right? I remember that was the first time I saw something like the OGR, right? I might be wrong, but I think it's right. If you want a serious answer, any cheap Gateron switch and throw P foam in your keyboard. I literally just said that. I said get a Gateron switch and put some foam in your board. Is Blue Cheese V2 good? Is that the one from what's their name? Keybay Tech, I think, carries those, right? The cheese switches. Yeah, those were pretty good. I remember trying some. Those are pretty smooth. Those are pretty good. Okay. And then this mid plate piece sort of gets like sort of bottom mounted, I guess, to the case. Oh, speaking of Keybay Tech, didn't they just open a physical store in Canada, in Toronto? Was it in Markham? Forget, but I'm pretty sure it was. So they just recently opened a physical store, a keyboard store, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, so what you can do with this is you can plug in a cable to the USB port here, because we're not using a daughter board for this prototype PCB. So it kind of is like a pseudo it's like a pseudo fixed connector build like that. The OGR was always just a 65%, right? Yeah, 65 XT was originally how it was designed. So a 65%. It's kind of like the Zenith, 65%, and then XT style columns. So, you know, 10 keys on the left side. And then there's been also the FRL TKL insert piece here, like basically because you know this mid piece can just be changed along with the PCB and the plate, so you can switch layouts that are of the same size. Yeah. Checking that the keys are working here. Okay, seems to work. Oh, there's some need to reprogram some of these. Okay. And need to put the last few screws here. Actually, hold on. I think the longer, yeah, the longer ones I think go here. Okay. And I do need to reprogram a few of these keys. Is it on VIA? Actually, I don't know. Oh, I don't have a. I think I need a JSON file. Hi. Do we have a JSON file for OGR? Does a pen fit into the lip on the top? Probably, yeah. I have a regular roller ball pen. Yeah, see? Fits. Or a Sharpie. Actually, two of them fit, basically. You're putting Dolch on here, right? It's up to you guys. Up to you guys. What if I troll hard and redeem Sky Dolch? I don't have Sky Dolch. I had Sky Dolch back in 2016, and then I sold it like 2 years later. Tragic? It was okay. I used it a lot. I enjoyed it for what it's worth, but yeah, it's alright. James said that spot is meant to put weed joint, not pen. Oh, I don't have weed joint. I don't partake. Alright, so I guess I'm getting Dolch. Do you guys want to just see Dolch on this? Cancer sticks work too. I don't smoke either. I don't smoke cancer sticks either. Cancer sticks. It's a fun name. Where is... Oh wait. What about a vape pen? I am telling you, I don't smoke. All right, I'll bring Dolch. Give me a sec. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. Do you please see 2 blinkers in a row for us? I'm good. BRB. Okay, I'm back. Alright, so Dolch, I have it on this board. I'm just gonna move them on. We don't need that, I think. Oops. FRLTKL best layout for this. It said on the packaging for the PCB, it said the morally correct layout. So I'll trust it. I mean, it's versus the 65XT layout, Drew. In case you don't know how to figure out the context there. Okay. Oh, I got a JSON file. Yay. Okay. Let's see. FRLTKL. I need to hold on. I think I need to reload that, right? Huh. Is there a firmware for this, or am I? Did I do that wrong? Huh. Maybe it's not on. Maybe it's not the VIA firmware that's installed. Let's see. Let me put keycaps on first. Diego, what are the last like 3 keyboards that got you excited or piqued your interest? That I've like recently built. That like are already released. You mean? Which is the morally correct choice? Cyan enter red escape or red enter cyan escape? Oh, that's really tough. That's super tough. Like the last you've seen or built. Okay. Let me see. Last I've built? Honestly, this DK160 was pretty fun. I actually enjoy how it feels and sounds. It's the Marblano thing is kind of neat. It's a bit of a gimmick, but it looks cool to, like, you know. But it looks pretty cool. I think I really liked the Blue Ridge. I think the Blue Ridge was super nice. I wish the Blue Ridge was different slightly aesthetics wise, but like it was like it for me it felt like a turning point for like OEM approximating EC stuff. Like Dynacap and the Blue Ridge personally felt like a turning point for EC, like as a scene. So that was super exciting in my opinion. I think it's like a stellar board. And I think it did well because it totally deserves it. So yeah, Blue Ridge is definitely up there for me. The 21XX also is pretty cool because it was like, it's like one of those layouts that like nobody wanted to make because it's so expensive, and then it finally happening it was pretty nice. That said, it's still super expensive, and I think it's super cool. I mean, the only other board that was designed in this particular layout was the Parallax that never really came to fruition. In terms of like being actually made into a prototype or into like a, you know, like an actual produced design. But you know, like the layout's been floating around for a while. Like it's inspired by the IBM Unsafer layout. But yeah, the 21XX I think was pretty cool. It was done really nicely. Like the implementation of the mounting and the way it felt and sounded and was pretty good. So I would personally put Blue Ridge 21XX up there. Another board that I thought was pretty cool was the Baron boards one. I think he's definitely trying new things, which is always nice. I always like seeing kind of like just like, even if it's like a wild random attempt at something, like a stab at something, but if it works, like I think it was a board that I think stood out for originality for sure. It was up there. The BP1 board. It's not a design for me, to be honest. It's too big, too much going on. But the mounting and this and that, like he was trying new things that I think deserves praise. GDK Lab, I don't know who it is. GDK Lab is this Chinese, I guess, brand that's made this board, and I think one is a TKL as well. I think they've made that had like this copper bottom, and it was pretty budget friendly, I think. The last three that you would add to your personal collection, probably, if I could, I would have probably added a Cloudline V2, a 21XX, probably for sure. I mean, I recently built a 356CL. Does that count? I still want one, but I'm not getting one anytime. It's free to dream. Yeah, exactly. That I think that's sort of the point here. It's free to dream, so why not, right? Why not? Oh, did I grab the wrong box? I don't think this one has... Does this one have my short shift? I think I grabbed the wrong box. Want to sell the most expensive keyboard you've bought then? I mean, I could definitely do that. Definitely doable. I wonder if AIO3 saw the 21XS1 was like, maybe I could have run that. I don't think AIO3 is that kind of person. I actually genuinely don't think he's that kind of person. All right, I'll be right back. Let me get a different box here. Cold Donkey Kong. I heard that new Donkey Kong game is good. Okay. I just need to find the short shift and the FN key. It's V good. Oh, do you have a Switch too, Mr. Kupo? I didn't know. Could have bought one too, but figure I'm gonna want to pirate shit and get myself banned. Nice. Maybe a couple of artisans. Do I have anything Dolch like here? Oh, this Bogan one kind of works. Let's. Ha! I have this Menda keycap. Weeb cap. Weebs in. Guys like anything here? Maybe the bongo or the art key. I think the bongo is kind of close. Do you have a grunge ominous? Yes, I do. I totally do. I think I put it around here. Yes, I think I found it. Thank you, Ninewalker. I knew I could rely on you. Maybe I'll put the Menda key on the insert. Okay, so for whatever reason, this current PCB is programmed with a layout that's offset. So I feel like either the wrong firmware or the wrong layout rather. Maybe the ISO layout is currently flashed on this. Yeah, I think, oh, that's what it is. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I need to switch it. Give me a sec. Let me see if I can do this. How do I do this? If I hold on. What the? Oh, that's caps lock. Wait, what? Yeah. Oh, there. So if I do. Okay. What's this one? This key. The bottomer is like offset, so I need to like figure out how to do this. And then hold on, can I if I do this, will it work? Let's find out. Oh yeah, that did. Okay, almost there. Wait, so what was this? Oh, I see. Oh, I don't know. Guess I don't need one. I'm like one by one reprogramming the bottom row keys with auto hotkey because I can't figure it out because I don't have a firmware right now. I thought I did, but I don't have a VIA compatible one. I just need Just the bottom row until here is fine. Okay, I think that should do it. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what? Okay, I don't know. I guess I'll just have to type on it without actually typing on it because I can't figure out this programming thingy right now. All right, I give up. Let us just type on this. All right. I tried, but moving all of this one over is like complicated. All right, let's try this out, folks. So, oh, you can look at it from the side too. That's the side profile over here. Looks pretty nice in my opinion. We can try this. All right, let's try it out. Okay, music off. And all right. So we currently have this built with these are Durock Cerulean switches. These are medium tactiles from Durock. These are currently lubed, I believe, and these are currently built on a carbon fiber plate on this OGR2. This is the FRL TKL layout with wind keyless blockers or wind key blockers rather, and we'll be trying it out. It's currently built with GMK Dolch over here, GMK Dolch R5. All right, let's check it out. OGR2 with Ceruleans. Okay. All right, there it is. Which colorway would you go with? I can tell you in a bit. I need to actually look at all the colorways, but sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty nice. Yeah, a little different from MX Browns. MX Browns will have maybe like a slightly brighter sound on this. But these are pretty nice. I think I actually really like how these medium tactiles feel on the carbon fiber plate, because one thing that's a little bit different from regular top mount is that this also does have leaf springs, which make it quite flexy and soft feeling. And these tactiles have a nice return feel to them that make it feel like not very trampoline-like, but just like comfortable to type on. It's a very comfortable feel, and sound-wise, they pair together quite nicely. So, all right, I'll go through the mods. Here are the mods. Once again, the alphas. In fact, I think this sounds really, really nice. The alphas sound pretty good. Maybe some people might describe this as slightly creamy, but no, it's pretty nice. Mods or K alphas are really nice. Yeah, I think the mods, maybe because they're close to the leaf springs, they might have some of the sound kind of, you know, sort of like lose some of the oomph that you might get on a standard top mount plate. I think maybe the leaf springs are kind of offsetting that a little bit. Yeah. So I feel like if this plate, for example, were not leaf springy, then you might get a little bit more of that like solid sort of like sounding, I guess, sound to the mods a little bit more, but nonetheless pretty nice. But it's a good balance between feel and sound here for the board. The leaf springs do kind of cover the entire perimeter of this plate, so you can actually see the, where's the plate for the other one? Oh, I put it in the back over there. I can show you what the plate looks like for the 65XT layout, which is pretty much the same except just a different layout. So it looks like this. So it has top mount points, and then it has these you know, it has these leaf springs, like basically has these cuts, leaf cut, like, you know, like relief cuts essentially going around all the perimeter of the plate. So yeah, anything that's like kind of like close to the edge here, I feel like might suffer a little bit from the flexibility of this, especially with this particular material. But yeah, these are like quite essentially, it makes this piece a very thin part. So yeah, very similar to thermal. Yeah. It's kind of like gives that vibe. And so I personally feel like when you have cuts like this, the modifiers in particular suffer a little bit from that, because the sound kind of ends up seeming a little bit thin. But the alphas do sound good. So and there is a good amount of like bounce to the way it feels. So I like it. I like it. It's like a delicate balance between those two, and probably depends depending on material. I feel like maybe aluminum works better for the leaf cuts. Carbon fiber may be a little worse in that regard, but it pairs really nicely with tactile switches though, carbon fiber. So I think it at least is making the overall build sound pretty good with the Ceruleans here. MX Browns would sound pretty nice too. There is a sound test, like a typing video on YouTube of someone who built their own OGR1, I guess, with a carbon fiber plate and MX bronze. James has said the PC plate is the firmest feeling. Maybe because it doesn't have the cuts, right? Actually, does it? I have yeah, no cuts. This is a 65 XT plate for in PC, and it has 0 cuts. So that's probably where the firmness is coming from. So yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on your build and what you want. PC could be a pretty nice choice for this too. So, but yeah, for the carbon fiber, I feel like it's pretty good with the cuts. Do a PC build, Diego. We still have time. No, I gotta go soon. Okay. So I guess I'll show off the board here, what it looks like, and we can wrap things up here. So, oh, which color? Yes, let me check out the colors. So let us take a look at colors. So this. All right, so there is OGR2 page. I really like the Keycap. I mean the marketing that James went for. It's so funny. It's so witty. It's very fun and cool. So I really like it. Let's see. So layout compatibility. He kind of covers that. Changes from R1. He talks about that. If you want to take a look, we can. Added the option for a daughter board instead of the integrated cable. Extra engraving, and then different badge basically. And so you go to the layouts, EC options. So there is Dolch, which is color wise. So it's basically like a black and a warm gray. So this is the Dolch unit, classy, kind of originally what it was intended to be. I don't know if the Keycaps has all the colors. Oh, I see. Let me see. And there's beige. I'm personally like okay on the beige. I actually don't love the warm gray middle part for paired with this. With the beige, I feel like it clashes a bit. So personally, I'm more about the Dolch than the beige. And then there's the Fool's Dolch, or the Fool's Gold one, I guess. So the Fool's Gold one is sort of like this like gold warm gray sort of like color, kind of like bronze-y. Looks pretty different in different lighting. I remember people talking about this colorway before for other boards. I think the Petrichor had it too. It's an interesting color. The Fool's one is pretty good. Definitely more leaning towards this if you want like a warmer tone board. A little bit more versatile with other sets too. So yeah, this one's I would say like if I wanted something more eccentric, the Fool's Dolch one here is more interesting than the Dolch one. Regular Dolch, I think more interesting if you want for something more classic sort of feeling. And that's it. Looks like those are the colors that are here. Maybe there's more, but maybe it's on the Discord server. White or off-white with the beige would be better. Yeah, I agree. Or even like a darker beige, like U9 L9 sort of combo. I think that might work better. Sort of the way what board did that? The Class 0413, I think. That was the Studio one. I think that one did like a cream and beige sort of scheme, and that looked pretty good. F1 Classic did that too, yeah. So I think that works better for like in like in one piece inside another sort of look. And this is basically what that's going for, like that vintage look. I think that works a little better than the warm gray that they're going for. Obviously, this is an attempt to reduce the number of SKUs here, like the number of unique pieces and unique colors. So I totally get why it's being done this way. It's to basically keep that mid piece constant in terms of colors and anobaths and all that. So I get it. I totally get that. But in the interest of, you know, like wanting to choose any color, I do think that the beige one could be different. Yeah, it's good though. It's good. I don't think you can go wrong with any if you like them. But yeah. Oh yeah, thanks for the link. Yeah, so Dolch Beige and Fool's Dolch. Yeah, I would say Fool's Dolch for something more interesting, Dolch for something more classic, personally. But I really like that you can do 65 XT or FRL TKL just based on that. And I mean, obviously you have to buy all the extra components, which is like another $150 or whatever it is. So that part kind of can suck, but still. All right, so yeah, I do have other like black and similar color boards, so I probably would be more leaning towards the Fool's Dolch one just for more interesting colorways. But I do remember more fondly looking at the Dolch colorway for the OGR2 for the OGR specifically. I remember it was like rendered and like shown with the Dolch colorway, which was like such an eye-catching thing when the vintage summer event happened, and that was really cool. Anyway, all right, folks, let's show the board here. So this is the OGR2 by AKB. We got some extra dust and grime. Sorry, but that's the FRL TKL layout, I guess, of this. And that's what it looks like on the side. You have like a little step sort of shelf here. It's actually quite large, this shelf. And then you have that, you know, quintessential like cherry lip. You have a very, very intentional seam, very akin to those vintage cases. This is integrated cable only in the sense that the cable goes in and plugs into the PCB right here. But technically it's not soldered to the PCB. It's not soldered to the PCB. Different from OGR1 is that you do get the option to use a daughter board. So if you use a daughter board, you just attach the daughter board here and you connect the USB-C cable right here. So there's a USB-C port on the other side of the board for those of you who don't like integrated cable, like myself, to be honest. But I don't love integrated cable if I can afford not to have it. But that said, this look is fine. It's just like this implementation is pretty much the same as the 21XX, where you just put the cable inside, plug it inside, and then you can, you know, when you take it apart, you can just unplug it from there. So your cable doesn't go to waste. You don't have to chop your cable off and solder directly to the PCB, so that's nice. So it's not actually integrated cable, it's just kind of like pseudo integrated. It's a nice look, but yeah, the inconvenience is definitely something that I'm not a huge fan of. So for me, like when I saw the 21XX, when I saw the OGR and I saw the integrated pseudo integrated like implementation, I personally am like, you know, pulls me back a little bit. That said, it is part of the look, it is part of the whole vintage thing. And so it makes sense design wise. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool in any case. Obviously this doesn't have the actual sticker that goes in the back, but it looks a lot cooler with the sticker. You know, James worked with these like retro style cherry style stickers, and they look amazing once you put them on. And I wouldn't doubt that this board will look pretty nice with it too. Just kind of adds to that like retro look. So, you know, something to note. And yeah, the badge is kind of like inset a little bit, just says AKB. And yeah, 65XT or FRL-TKL. I can also weigh the board if you are curious about its total weight. So I'm gonna wait for that. So this currently weighs about 7.5 pounds, 7 pounds and 5 ounces, which in kilos is about 3.3 kilograms, which is pretty heavy for a board of this layout. So nice and chonky boy. So it's a beautiful board for sure. I agree. Definitely a standout among the boards I've built recently. Just very, very pretty. It's like there's a lot of details, I think, and it's very nice. If you're looking for a like chonky retro inspired board, this is definitely like peak top choice for sure. And it's like, you know, it's gone through its iterations too, so it's a refined design in my opinion. And from the side, it just kind of looks like that, you know, kind of like a more reflective angle. The light's coming in from this side, reflect on the board, back to the camera over here, but that's what it looks like. If you don't want any of the crud on the table, take a look at it. But beautiful, very nice. So yeah, I guess that's the OGR2. Okay, so let me now start wrapping some of these things up. Okay. So, yeah. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. But yeah, this board, the group buy for this ends pretty soon. It started last month and it lasts basically about a month. It should be ending, I think, at the end of this weekend. I think it's the 24th or 25th. So, you know, but you have until the end of the weekend if you're interested in the board. Definitely not a cheap price in the sense that it's you know, so it's just a big keyboard, and also MOQ is probably not as high. That said, it is pretty. So it's a pretty board. So if you're into the look, if you're into the retro stuff, this board, I think, back when it first was teased, like when he first showed it on custom keyboards and whatnot, I was like really interested in it. That said, I've grown out of my liking 65% phase, at least compared to before, so I'm not as interested in the 65% layout. The FRL-TKL layout is pretty attractive, I think. Actually, with the pen rail and everything, it looks really much more balanced than the FRL actually. Because like if you cut this forehead out, the FRL-TKL is this weird layout that's kind of long. It's just kind of long. The forehead, actually, the forehead and the big chin, I guess, like balances the design out a lot in FRL-TKL. So this board in FRL-TKL is actually really nice looking. Like in addition to the whole retro thing. So I actually really like it as an FRL-TKL. I think it's like peak for this particular board. But I know that the 65XT was the original sort of like design for this. Yeah. Cloud9 R2 build when? No one's sending me one. I don't have one to build. I didn't build a Taiga either because I wasn't sent one. So yeah, I was a little jealous of that one. I kind of wanted to check it out. It's all good though. But yeah, can talk about some of the stuff that's coming up soon though. So builds that are coming up. I have the Tofu TKL to build. There is the Bloody Easy sent this board called the ETAR 87, which was before it was called QFRL V2 or V3, and then but yeah, the ETAR 87 or ETAR, I'm not sure what the right pronunciation is. I should probably look it up. But the Bloody Easy is doing a board, and then later when things arrive, I'll have a Neo 65 Core Plus. I think I have a 500 CM I need to build. There's a one-off board from Enigma Keyboards that I got commissioned to build, that I will build. So it's a client build. And then I think I'll be building a Zoom TKL Dyna, Fin 60XT, Fragment TKL, the new round of the Fossil by Carolina Mech, and then there might be some other stuff later down the line. Oh, maybe a Key Cult number 3 as well. Key Cult number 3 maybe as well. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all I got for now. Yeah, I've always liked the look of the OGR2. 3? Yeah, 3. Yeah. 3. 3. 3. Is the number 3 still the bird-looking one? It's the one that has the, like... Yeah, I mean, it's kind of mostly the same. Let me see if I can find a... Oh, I think I... Did I accidentally close that? No, wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find the photos. Where is it? Number 3. Is there any like actual photos? Okay, this works. It's this one. It's this one. This is from their configurator. Renders from their configurator. Oh, I see. It doesn't scale. But it's this one. Looks cool. A little, the bezels are different from the first time they teased it. I think Poner said in my Discord server that the bezels here on the side are much smaller than they used to be. So they do look better, I think. But yeah, they still has this like winged shape on the side, big weight on the bottom. Yeah. This will be through NK, yeah. I'm currently looking at this is the Novel Keys configurator. It doesn't have a price or anything, but it's their like mock configurator. But yeah, they're gonna have let's see, aluminum. Wait, no, that's for the, let me see, that's for the weight. For the case color, they have navy, purple, silver, black, coated white, coated yellow. Weight, they have alu, copper, and brass. Alu can be silver, black, or red. Copper and brass are copper and brass. And then plates, they have alu and polycarb. Accents are the same as the rest. And yeah, and you can like configure it. It already happened? No, it hasn't happened. They just received protos, I think. So I think they're like going through the whole proto thing, and then they're planning on doing a pre-order. This is a mock page. This is not like a actual product page. This is like their pre-release sort of mock page that they put it on public for now for people to check out. But no, it's not yet done or anything. It's going to be like a pre-order group buy rather. Yeah, I know it says N77, but it was probably a copy of their previous, like some other buy that had the configurator. Wake me up when number 260 releases. Okay, I'll DM you, and if I can't reach you through DMs, I'll send you a snail mail letter, only for Ninewalker, long subscriber of the channel. I'll send you a letter that says, "Hello, to whom it may concern. If you live in this address still, please consider that there is a number 260 and about to be released." If it happens. This is very much a rich person kind of design. It's probably not gonna be cheap, that's for sure. Yeah. It probably won't be cheap, that's for sure. Okay, I guess I shall wrap it up now. Alright, folks. I'm not sure who is streaming. Let me check, actually. I see... Wait! Did you see this? Wait, what am I seeing? What am I looking at? Okay, I'll look at something. Yours faithfully, Meow XI. Yes. Best regards. Just kidding. Best regards is so, like, clinical. Oh, the coniferous. Yeah. I did see that. Do you like coniferous, Kupo? I actually had GMK coniferous round 1 and I sold it because I didn't like it as much. The contrast on, you have to see it in real life, but I'm not gonna lie, the contrast on GMK coniferous is kind of atrocious in some ways. Like this is sunlight, okay? So it looks okay here, but the color of the alphas and this specific tone of green makes it look slightly like fuzzy. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like semi-low contrast. It's like okay. It's okay. I think it's a fine set. I think when there was not as much green sets out there, this was a very good set. But I think now we have better green theme sets. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, although one thing for sure is that I saw the name of the poster, Rassles. Isn't Rassles about to run another group buy? Are they running like, what should I call it? Beachy? Where do they have a signature? Where is their? Okay, I'm gonna look at their posts. Topics. Okay, coniferous. Yeah. This one, Beachy, just Beachy. They're running this one too. So I was like, wow, they're really back to back inged a lot of these sets. I mean, which is fine. But I kind of found a name to be. I was like, oh yeah, they've been running a few things or trying to run a bunch. Yeah, Lilies of the Valley. I remember this. I don't think this got made, right? They like tried it twice, I think, or something like that. I remember. Yeah. Coniferous should be hit. Yeah, I mean, it's a rerun, so I feel like there's gonna be a little bit of that nostalgia that people want. So I mean, I think it's gonna do fine. Yeah, it'll probably do fine because there's people who are nostalgic for it. Yeah. There's gonna be a little of that old GMK effect. Yeah, GMK Splash is the same. GMK Hydro round 2 essentially. That one's probably gonna be soon. I think that's who is it? MC 3 times. MC. I think he's running that one with permission. Oh, I forget if it was him or somebody else. I think it was him though. Yeah. Violet Tendencies. I remember I also had Violet Tendencies and also sold that set because it was so low contrast. Violet Tendencies was like hyperfuse like alphas with blank mods essentially. It was like N9 blanks essentially because that purple was not visible on those mods. Violet Tendencies was one of those sets. It was a flop for sure. It was just very low contrast in person. GMK Keyboard and Co R2 in the dumps. GG. I mean, I'm sure you could figure it out if you maybe made an effort to ask the first runner of Keyboard and Co and see if they would be willing to let you do it. But you need to try if you want to have it, I think. Just like I did with Blue Alert, I had to try many times actually. It was shot down a few times before I actually managed to run Blue Alert. Because Blue Alert round 1's designer wanted specific things and they intended actually on rerunning the set, but with originative not really doing more stuff and COVID and this and that, it just kind of worked out. But I'm glad I got to run Blue Alert R2 because I got the creative liberty of putting text-based icon mods and all that stuff, R5 and blah blah blah, you know. But it took a few attempts actually. Between me and some other people actually who actually also asked for permission, but I ended up getting the blessing from the original designer at the end, and so that's why Blue Alert happened. Yeah. I don't know where my set is. It's okay. Is Miami Nights under OCO IP embargo? Maybe. Probably. I feel like if someone tries to run Hyperfuse or Miami something, I feel like they might like come out of the you know, of a dark alleyway and be like, you can't do it. So I maybe. Donut Cables tried running R2 and came close to MOQ. I remember something like this, yeah. I really doubt it would even hit MOQ in nowadays though, not gonna lie. Drew, you say things like you suppose things a lot. You like make these conjectures and these supposed predictions that you think it wouldn't hit, but like you don't know until you try, dude. You never know. There's enough old GMK nostalgia out there. Just like the PCBs. Just like the Philco PCBs. You never know. You never know. You just have to try it. You just have to try it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's basically how it works. If it fails, it fails. But you have to try. That's just how I feel about it. About like these projects. But yeah, I agree with Mr. Kupo that I would rather, I'm not sure if I would rather see old sets rerun than I would see new things come out. But there are new things that's just not my cup of tea, and that's okay. But yeah. Gion mentioned he's planning to run some of the sets that were originally run by Originative Co. Oh, cool. I hope that happens. Imagine if Classic Retro do a rerun. Well, let me tell you, you can get GMK Classic Beige, and then if you happen to have Verdant Retro, which ran with those colorful win keys, that's pretty much all you need. I guess. But anyway. Diego just rerun Classic Retro Cerulean for us. Oh, I'm not that interested in it. But didn't he run? Didn't Gion do Black Snail, Cyrillic, Beige, Caps, Alphas? There was that. I'm surprised you like Keyboard Co as much. Well, that's because I like the color. I like that teal color. I like that the Tiffany color. That color is sweet. Gion Cerulean is UV print. Classic Retro Cerulean is too. What are you talking about? It's the same. What are you talking about? The red Cyrillic is the same. No, you know you can't have three colors. You have the base color, you have the double shot legend color, and then you have the pad print or the UV print on top, which is a different color for Classic Retro Cyrillic. So it's not triple shot. So it's UV print too. It's gonna fade eventually. Yeah. That's what ICs are for. No need to guess. Yes, ICs are there for you to either succeed or fail. You need to try first. Anyway, Gorp and Guru are new and cool. Yes, Gorp and Gurukawa are both new and very cool. I agree. Want to sell Classic Retro Win Keys 1.5 times 2 and 1.25 times 225 each. Nice. Yeah. Okay.